Now, it's not always the case that when you have an idea that you're developing through the boxes, that it's going to stay that way. I mean, this is all just so tentative. Because as things progress, as you write, you'll be getting more ideas. But let's talk about what happens once you have the I just want to know, I just like to know. You look happy. Did you cheat? Honesty. Let's see, now once you get that done, that sort of tentative development in your head, now something really interesting happens. Remember, you could say, well, I'm just starting, I'm playing my chords and humming something, and here's some words that might go with it, and then you start just moving through, trying to see where things go. That's really fun. But again, at some point, I think it's really helpful to say, okay, what's my idea? So that you should try to find the central idea, the thing that you want to say, at your earliest possible convenience. So the I just like to know may have evolved from a long series of just jamming on some chords and so on. But whenever that comes, whether it comes first or comes after a melody has been created, or after a series of chords and a melody have been created, or just some kind of rhythmic idea that you have, whenever you find that central idea, at that point, things can really begin to get interesting. Because now, when you have those boxes, you're not going to get lost. My problem in starting someplace and just seeing where it goes is that, generally speaking, I end up in the middle of the woods someplace and can't find north. And so you're kind of looking for north, kind of looking for what it is you're talking about, and then you can step back, you can climb the tree and see what's around you and see where it is that you can go. So that once you're inside the box, now you can start just exploring. You can start, and so you're exploring the, oh, you look happy. What's up? Are you as happy as you look? You can explore that. And you can go anywhere you want to, into the woods, whatever, and you know that ultimately you're not going to get lost because you know where you're going, because now you're working inside the boxes. And so when I'm inside the box to the what's up, generally speaking, what I will try to do is I'll call up my 6 best friends and ask them, hey, I'm in this box that says, what's up? You look happy. And it's going to be, I'd just like to know. And so, what do you think? I ask my friends. What do you think? What could I be talking about here? And then your 6 best friends will give you all sorts of answers. And you use those answers from your 6 best friends to try to see what the best kind of approach is. Now, I know that as songwriters, most of you don't have 6 best friends. So, being the generous person that I am, I'm going to tell you who to call. I'm going to give you my 6 best friends. No, it's all right. It's a gift. It's a gift. My 6 best friends are who, what, when, where, why, and how. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Those are my 6 best friends. And I'm particularly close to who, when, and where. I'd recommend that you chat with them. But of course, what? What are you talking about? Is pretty important too. What am I talking about? I'm talking about being betrayed and lack of honesty in a relationship. That's what's happening. So now we get into this first box. And I call up my friend Hwin. I say, "Hi, Hwin. Listen, I've got this idea." I run into her and say, "Hey, you look really happy. When, does this happen, Hwin?" And Hwin says, "Well, when might be springtime. It's springtime. Everything is in blossom. The birds are singing. Flowers are coming up. There's this soft, gentle breeze blowing. And there she is in springtime. Everything is in bloom, and yet inside you are withering away. So there's this ironic distance between the external world and the internal world of loneliness and sadness that you are suffering." I say, "Oh, Hwin, that's so beautiful. Thank you." And Hwin says, "Oh, don't hang up yet. There's another possibility. There's summertime, heat, growth, sex, tangled sheets." You say, "Oh, I hadn't thought about how much I missed her physically. Thank you so much for the summertime, that place of real growth. Thank you." Hwin says, "But there's also, it could happen in the fall, when everything is slowing down and the leaves are falling, much as your own emotions are. And then rather than there being ironic distance between the external world and your internal world, now there's consonance. And the external world becomes a metaphor for what's going on inside. Or it could be wintertime, when you're covering up and you're feeling like you need to protect yourself, as you have been ever since she left you. You say, "Oh, Hwin, you're so helpful. You're such a good friend." Hwin says, "But there's other things. It could be morning. What if you meet her in the morning?" You say, "Why would I be meeting her in the morning? Am I stalking her at Starbucks where I know she goes? Or how early? Am I waking up with her in the morning? Was this the last night that we spent together? Was this our goodbye night? The I can't make you love me if you don't night? What if it's 3 a.m.? Then it could be a phone call. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. It could be a phone call. I could be leaving a voice message, wondering, or if it's afternoon or evening. So those kinds of times. So when is it? And this whole thing of when is now going to give you kind of a background. And you can draw from it emotionally. It could be a special occasion. When? Her wedding. And so now you're walking down the reception line, and maybe now you're not even going to be saying this aloud. Now you're going to be with an internal monologue of some kind. So that the minute that you introduce when into this conversation, there's all sorts of obvious places you can go that are going to create some kind of an ambiance, some kind of a background in your song. Thank you, Hwin. Hi, where? Where is this happening? Well, it could be at our special table at Dunkin' Donuts or at Starbucks, where I'm sitting and she walks in, and I've been sitting there for weeks. So there's a where. It could be just walking down the street. Which side of the street is she on, and who is she with? And suddenly, the minute that you introduce where, things start coming in, some other possibilities. And again, you've got some kind of setting for the song. So that when and where can be very, very helpful friends. Of course, we already know about why. So that your 6 best friends, if you run through those, who's talking, to whom, that's all the who. What do you have to say? Why are you saying it? Why do you want to tell her this? When is it? Where is it? And how does it all come together? Your 6 best friends are your 6 best friends. Feel free to call them anytime. No problem. You're welcome.